Something's happening to car ownership that nobody's talking about openly. Mechanics across the country are quietly warning their most loyal customers to hold off on buying 2026 models, not because of reliability issues or recalls, but because of what's buried in the software. The traditional relationship between you and your vehicle is being dismantled piece by piece, and by 2026, you might not actually own your car in any meaningful sense, even after you've paid off every cent of that loan. Walk into any dealership today and you'll notice something strange. Salespeople are pushing leases harder than they ever have before. Finance managers are extending loan terms to 7 or 8 years without batting an eye. And the conversation around ownership has shifted in a way that should make you uncomfortable. This isn't just about monthly payments or interest rates anymore. The entire framework of what it means to own a vehicle is being rewritten, while most buyers are distracted by heated seats and 0% financing offers. Let me explain what's really going on here. Starting with model year 2026, every major manufacturer is implementing what they're calling connected vehicle architecture, which sounds harmless enough until you read the fine print. This system gives manufacturers unprecedented control over vehicle functions through over-the-air updates, remote diagnostics, and what they describe as safety monitoring. Sounds reasonable on the surface, except these same systems can disable features you paid for, restrict where and how you drive, and collect data about every single trip you take. Toyota, Ford, GM, and Stellantis have all filed patents in the last 18 months for systems that can remotely limit vehicle speed, restrict geographic boundaries, and even prevent the engine from starting based on factors they determine. They frame this as theft prevention and safety enhancement, but the implications go far beyond stolen vehicle recovery. Insurance companies are already partnering with manufacturers to access this data, and several states are exploring programs that would tie vehicle functionality to compliance with various regulations. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. These aren't theoretical possibilities buried in some obscure patent filing. Several luxury brands have already implemented subscription services for features like heated seats, advanced cruise control, and performance modes. You paid $40,000 for a car that has heated seats physically installed, but unless you pay a monthly fee, those seats won't heat. The hardware is there, you financed it, but the software decides whether you can use it. BMW tried this a few years ago and faced massive backlash, so they backed off, temporarily. Now they're trying again with different messaging, and other manufacturers are watching closely to see if consumers will accept it this time. The strategy is simple. Introduce it gradually, normalize it with premium features first, then expand it to basic functionality once people stop paying attention. The 2026 model year represents a tipping point because it is when these systems become standard across nearly all manufacturers rather than optional on luxury models. Federal regulations are actually pushing this forward under the guise of safety improvements and environmental monitoring. The infrastructure bill passed 2 years ago includes provisions requiring kill switches in all new vehicles by 2026, officially for impaired driving prevention. But the technology does not distinguish between regulatory compliance and manufacturer control. Independent mechanics are already feeling the squeeze. Modern vehicles require manufacturer-specific diagnostic software to perform even basic repairs, and manufacturers are restricting access to these tools. Right-to-repair legislation has been introduced in multiple states, but automotive lobbying groups have successfully watered down or blocked most of these bills. By 2026, many independent shops won't be able to service newer vehicles at all, forcing you back to dealerships that charge 3 times as much for the same work. But the control goes deeper than repair restrictions. Manufacturers are building in planned obsolescence through software, not just hardware. Your 2026 vehicle might run perfectly fine mechanically, but if the manufacturer decides to stop supporting the software after 8 years, features will start failing. Navigation, climate control, even basic functions that used to be controlled by physical buttons are now routed through software that requires ongoing support. Tesla pioneered this approach, and now everyone's copying it. They demonstrated that consumers would accept losing features they paid for if it was packaged as a software issue rather than a hardware failure. Your screen goes blank, your cameras stop working, your advanced safety features disable themselves, and the fix requires either an expensive upgrade